Let's see. Get a little closer. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's get in here. Get in here. Get in here. Get in here. All right. All right. I got one person in there. We gonna have a good talk tonight. Had a long discussion today, and I wanted to pick up on the conversation. Pick up on the conversation that we were having today, and wait till some more people come in here. We got one in the chat. One in the chat. I always like to start the discussion when we get more people in here. We got one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Got a good topic tonight. Good topic tonight. We're going to be talking about women's mental health. Women's mental health. We're going to wait for some more people to come into the chat. Had a good discussion today. We was talking about relationships and relationships between men and women and how they are how the relationship between men and women today are just really messed up. It's hard to find a good man and it's hard to find a good woman. And one of the issues that we're having with this is um, mental health. Mental health is the big thing that's happening today with men and women. We're going to be talking about women tonight. I was doing a little research and I looked something up. It says woman, 1 in every 5 will have a mental health issue as they get older in life. 1 in 5. Think about that. So you got one person out of every 5 will have a female, that will have a mental health issue. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about how do women end up with mental health issues. And I'm going to start it way back. I'm going to go back to this way to back when my mother, and I'm talking about my mother, back when my mother was young, she had me at a young age, as well as she had my sisters at a young age, and my brother at a young age. She was a teenager. And so we went through this time where you had children having children. And so these young girls were older men that were a little bit older than them, uh, messing with these young girls. And so that created a lot of problems as time went on, because the issue with that is that it will affect a young woman when she's older, because it speeds up that process of growth. When a girl is a teenager, she don't understand anything about motherhood. She understands nothing about motherhood. A young girl, a teenager, she don't understand nothing about motherhood. And so you have these older men, like I said, back in the day, it was something that they just did back in the day. Not saying that it was right, but they did it. And so what we're dealing with today, some of the conditions that have arisen from that has been depression, anxiety, uh, this is not a popular subject, but I'm still going to keep talking about it. Um, but so that today, that's why we have some of the disorders that we have. Disorders like menopause, depression, anxiety, all this kind of stuff. It stems from mental health, and that's what a lot of the issues are. So the, we're going to talk about these different disorders. Depression is we're going to start with depression. Don't too many people understand depression. Really, really, they don't understand depression, what it does to you, and how it affects your mental state of mind. And depression can, hold on, let me see something. Now, let's look at depression. It's funny because we got a dude that comes in here, and I'm looking through the comments now. 2025 new troll order. I don't know what's up. Mental health is real. He comes in here, but so tonight we're talking about women's mental health. Any comments, concerns tonight? I was talking about mental health in women tonight. Tomorrow night I'll be talking about mental health in men. It's something about when you start certain subjects that you talk about, people don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about it, they don't want to hear it. What are the women's issues in mental health? Some mental health disorders are more common in women than men, including depression, anxiety disorder, and eating disorder. There are also disorders unique to women. For example, some women experience symptoms of depression at times of hormonal change, such as during or after pregnancy. Prenatal depression. Around 1 in 6 women experience depression in their lifetime. 1 in 3 experience anxiety. These issues disproportionately impact women at various ages. More women overall report high to very high levels of psychological distress. What are the signs of mental health in a woman? One of the most common signs of mental health issues in women is change in mood and behavior. This this can include feelings of sadness, irritability, anger, or anxiety. Women may also experience changes in behavior such as withdrawing from social activities, changes in sleep patterns, or changes in appetite. What are the 4 types of mental health? Mood disorders such as depression or bipolar disorder, anxiety disorder, personality disorder, psych. How to deal with a mental ill woman. Mm. How to support somebody with a mental health problem. How to support someone with a mental health problem. Talk about mental health. Set time aside with no distractions. Let them share as much as little as they want. Don't try to diagnose or second guess their feelings. Keep quiet and open end. Talk about self care. Listen carefully to what they tell you. That's how to support someone with a mental health problem. How to support women's mental health. Exercise regularly, practice mindfulness, living in the moment, get 8 hours of sleep each night, express gratitude for things and people in your life. Say positive things about yourself and others. New friends and connections. Participate in activities you enjoy. Here's a good one. How to tell if someone is how to tell if someone is mentally unstable. Example of signs and symptoms including feeling sad or down, confused, thinking or reduced ability to concentrate, excessive fear or worries or extreme feelings of guilt, extreme mood changes of high and lows, withdrawals from friends and activities, significant tiredness, low energy, or problems sleeping. How do you know if she's mentally unstable? How do I fix her mental health? Getting regular exercise. Just 30 minutes of walking every day can boost your mood and improve your health. Eat healthy, regular meals and stay hydrated. Make sleep a priority. Try a relaxing activity. Set goals and priorities. Practice gratitude. Focus on positivity. Stay connected. Empowering women's mental health. Empowering women's mental health. Empowering women's mental health. The first way, set boundaries that work for you. Ignoring your boundaries for the benefit of others can leave your feelings drained and isolated. Practice positive self-talk. Prioritize mind body wellness and seek and encourage support. Reconnect with your story. Reflect on your contributions. Uh, oh, here go a good one. What stimulates a woman mentally? It says engaging her mind with intellectual conversations, flirty debates, and witty jokes can go a long way in making yourself more attractive to her. If you want to stimulate a woman's mind, the next time you're flirting with her, but you're not sure how to actually go about doing it, don't worry. Oh, 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 oh. Uh, Yep. So, oh man, I just wanted to come on. Had a very good conversation today. So I was gonna come back. I should have just waited to tomorrow, but I came back instead, and so here we go. I don't know why these trolls. They just like coming into the chat on every channel and trolling the channels, saying silly stuff. That's how people are online, man. They just, ugh, they just do crazy stuff. How you doing tonight? People don't want to put nothing in the chat at all. At all. Trying to start a conversation here. Somebody say something. Come in and then jump out, and what's that all about? What's that all about? Uh-oh. We got somebody that's been in here for a minute now. Stick with me. More than 1 out of 5 women in the unspecified experience a mental health condition in the past year, such as depression, anxiety, diversity, and health equality. Uh, let's see what we got here. What does this say? What does this video say? Let me see.
To work on facts. My view is no one fits that we need to challenge.
I wonder if the advice that she might offer to her friend might be different to how she's engaging with her own challenge.
For example, society expects you to see your baby and...
Hi everyone. So just to kind of put some context around this to start with, before we start having some more discussion around this, research tells us that around 1 in 5 women will experience some form of mental health problem, common mental health disorder like anxiety or depression in their lifetime, and that compares to around about 1 in 8 for men. So I guess the first question is, why? So Victoria, I'd love to hear your view on why is that? What's the difference?
Well, I think there's a number of reasons, and I think one of the reasons is women are more likely to seek help. So we're not really sure what the true number, for example, of people, because there's a big residual amount of people that don't seek help. And I think men are less likely, because of the stigma around mental health, to be able to seek help than women.
So that's what she said was that number 1 in 5 versus men 1 in 8 is that women is more likely to seek help when they have some kind of mental health issue. Men most likely, so it's 1 in 8 for men, it's 1 in 5 for women will seek help. So that's why help. That's why that number's kind of high with it. One in 5 women have mental health issues. And so that number for men is 1 in 8. And it's because women are most likely to get checked out for their mental health versus men won't. Okay? So let's continue to listen to this little conversation here.
Which is a very sad thing. I think think also the reason it's so prevalent is because of the challenges that women face nowadays. I think there is a lot of psychological factors, very biological factors about being a woman with a cycle, all the menstrual issues, fertility issues, and then all the mental health around the baby and having a baby.
So one of the difference between men and women, she was talking about menopause, having a menstrual cycle, and all that kind of stuff, that it can affect a woman psychologically. It can. Versus men, we don't have to deal with all of that stuff that women have to deal with. That's why, as men, we should be more patient with our woman. We should be more patient with them because of all of this stuff that they have to go through with um, having kids, having a cycle, and the other one she talked about is just having issues. Some women have issues with having a baby, conceiving a baby. Women have issues with that. So
All the way through to menopause. So there's some real strong biological factors, not just the kind of physical sense that men don't necessarily go through.
Now, there's a really interesting piece in the Guardian relatively recently. There was a survey of psychiatrists, and they found that there were sort of top 3 issues that were contributing to women's poor mental health, and that was around abuse and violence, relationship issues, and home and family pressures. I think we talked a little bit about that, but Samir, from a consultant psychiatrist's point of view, how prevalent do you see that in your practice? Is that something that those factors are really quite common?
They are pretty common and more than what we think it would be. For example, nearly 50% of women patients who come into clinics for mental health difficulties talk about abuse, trauma, violence, or being subjected to some form of coercive abuse within there. So it's a very, very topical and, in my view, a significant part of how it affects their mental health. The second most, I think, which...
So he's talking about women being abused can affect their mental health um, also. Plays a big factor um, in women's mental health, abuse.
which is there is, of course, the whole life cycle that women have to go through, which Victoria has very, summed it up in just one sentence from start to finish. And there are biological differences that also affect women. However, it can be protective as well. But if you have other vulnerabilities like trauma, abuse, it can really not add but multiply the effects of that. Along with that, we also have societal pressures, what we expect of women to do or men to do, and that directly or indirectly also puts pressure on the women themselves of what they...
Now, see, this one, what he's talking about is, he said expectations. Expectations. And I guess when he says expectations, is he's talking about men's expectations of a woman. That puts tremendous pressure on a woman. And we as men don't understand that part. We don't understand that. We men do not understand the how can I say this? I would say this: men need to be a little more sensitive with their dealings with their woman. They really do.
they expect of how they should be within the society as well, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's home, whether it's elsewhere. So I think it's a multitude of factors. Of course, there's genetic vulnerability as well. So when you combine all of those together, it's there are multiple factors that affect women differently to any other.
It's really interesting. We'll come to that piece around the genetic factors in a minute as well. Debbie, I'd really love to hear your view in terms of that piece of work around sort of relationship issues, expectations on women, in that kind of.
Let's check out another one. Mental health matters, women's. Let's check this one out.
Welcome to Mental Health Matters. Is our clinic here at Ontario Shores. We do support women struggling with perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. And so what they'll receive here at the Women's Clinic once they're referred is they'll receive an initial psychiatric assessment by our nurse practitioner or our psychiatrist. They'll be provided with a diagnosis, treatment recommendations, as well as medication management and optimization if needed. But most importantly, they'll also receive supportive counseling and psychotherapy with either myself or my colleague. And that is something that a lot of women, unfortunately, are not receiving supports in the community around their perinatal mental health.
What are the steps? Is it an inpatient clinic, an outpatient clinic?
It's actually an outpatient clinic. Yes. So we provide short-term, manualized, focused psychotherapy in our clinic. So anywhere from about 16 to 20 weeks.
And is a referral required?
So a referral by any healthcare practitioner. So that could be your family doctor, your OB. It could be a public health nurse, a mental health.
So that tonight, women's mental health. If you were checking this video out on the replay, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment down below. And this live.